Life Gives You Tangerines gave us a heartwarming and beautiful ending, making us cry once again, even until the very end. Aesun and Gwansik finally enjoyed the fruits of their labor, their family became stable, Gamyeong became CEO, and Eunmyeong and his wife settled down while also helping Aesun and Gwansik with their business. Aesun and Gwansik found closure for Dongmyeong by visiting his grave. After years of being unable to talk about him, they finally did, and Aesun even wrote a poem dedicated to him. However, their happiness was short-lived when Gwansik was suddenly diagnosed with cancer, already in its advanced stages, leading to kidney failure. He underwent treatment, with Aesun personally taking him to the hospital, but his health continued to deteriorate. One night, Gwansik asked Gamyeong to stay by his side, and they talked all night about how wonderful her mother, Aesun, was. At last, he asked her to take care of Aesun for him. Gamyeong refused to listen, unwilling to say to her father, believing he would recover. Eventually, she broke down, crying and apologizing for the little things, like how she sometimes got annoyed with them or how she would rush to hang up the phone. Gwansik reassured her by patting her back, letting her know he never took it to heart. When Gwansik returned home, the family welcomed him with teary smiles, trying not to cry. Later, Gamyeong appeared on TV as a guest lecturer, where she spoke about Aesun and Gwansik, honoring their journey. We also got a glimpse of a museum dedicated to the history and resilience of Jeju's Haenyeo. Aesun published her first poetry book. That night, Gwansik sat outside their apartment, reading it alone, tears streaming down his face. Aesun gently asked if he was happy, and in response, Gwansik mimicked her signature hand gestures, just as she would when saying she was happy. Aesun laughed, and they spent time together. As Gwansik's final days approached, Aesun lay beside him in bed, crying as he softly patted her shoulder and sang to her one last time. When his condition worsened, he was rushed to the hospital, with Aesun, their son, and their daughter crying by his side. In his final moments, as he lay in the ICU, he looked at Aesun standing outside the room, tears streaming down her face as she watched him. In that moment, they saw their younger selves as they bid their final goodbye. After Gwansik passed away, the void he left was overwhelming for Aesun. She stayed in their apartment, but she continued to live and move forward. Fast forward to 2025, now in her 70s, Aesun returned to their old house in Jeju. The ending was heartwarming, as we saw Gamyeong and Eunmyeong visiting Aesun in Jeju, and we learned that her poetry collection had been officially published, thanks to Gamyeong submitting it to an publishing chief editor company named Chloe Lee. Later, it was revealed that Chloe Lee bore a striking resemblance to Aesun's mother. She was also the child of the couple Gamyeong had once seen on TV in the 90s, talking about first love. This same child had found the ring Aesun had thrown into the rapeseed field after a fight with Gwansik. She was also the little girl who once bought squid with her mother from Aesun at the market. As Chloe read Aesun's poetry, she unexpectedly started crying, wondering why. She then said she just felt proud of Aesun. Aesun told Gamyeong that she was content with her life and that it would have been a shame if she had given up halfway. She was glad she had lived through everything, embracing her poetry collection with happiness. Through Gamyeong's narration, we learned that Aesun lived the rest of her days happy and content. In the final scene, we saw Aesun and Gwansik in their 20s, taking a photo in the rapeseed field, happily talking about their future, promising that they would do everything as long as they were together. And with that, this beautiful story came to an end.